Good afternoon, traveler. In my last video, I talked about the fact that life is all about building alliances with spirits in order to live the complete full life you want to live, in order for you to gain knowledge and to gain evolution. And it all depends on allying with spirits. And that's not just the spirits that live outside of us, but starts first with the spirit that lives inside of us. So because we're a creative spirit, as I mentioned in one of my last videos, all spirits want to draw around us. And the spirits that you ally with are the things that you're going to create. So because that's the case, you want your spirit to be really happy, to be complete and balanced. Because if it's not only are you unhappy, but you'll bring in other spirits from outside of yourself that'll come in and they'll love the misery and they'll gather with you and you'll continue to be more miserable. So it's vital, if you're going to evolve, if you're going to move forward, that you start by making your spirit happy, that you start by taking control of that creative spirit, so that when you start allying with the other spirits, you can create wonderful things. You can create the things that you want. So what are some ways that we can make our spirit happy, that we can begin to find that balance? Well, one of the first ways is being very careful with our words. Any shaman, magician, witch, anybody that practices magic will tell you that words are very, very powerful. Because what you say, you bring into existence in some way, shape, or form. So when you say something nasty to yourself, then you make yourself feel down, you make yourself feel bad, and you put yourself in a state where it begins to tear you up. So you've got to watch your words. And I'm centering on self-talk today and warning you how it's important to talk to yourself right, but make sure that you're talking to others too in the right way. And it's not just being insulting per se, like saying, "Oh, Paul, you're so stupid." That's bad. That's going to cause damage. But there's other words you got to watch too. Words like job, work, have to, should, all these things that build kind of a negative force within you that make you want to freeze up and rebel against the system. Now, what I would advise you to do is work on changing your vocabulary. Listen very carefully to what you say, and when you hear a word that brings sort of a negative energy about, then pull out a dictionary or go on Google nowadays. Too many people have dictionaries on the shelf anymore. But go into a thesaurus online and find another word that means about the same thing, but resonates with you better, makes you feel better about the whole thing. Let me give you an example. If you say, "I should do something," right away you want to rebel against the system, because there's that freedom fighter in every one of us. I should. Change that to "I choose to do something." And that makes all the difference in the world. I choose to clean the house. I choose to go out and do this. I choose to go to work. Now again, I told you get rid of the word work. So think about what you do. Think of a more creative way of expressing what you do, or an attribute of the job that you really like. And you could say something like, "I choose to go to my creative endeavor. I choose to go to the place that helps me live in the lifestyle I want." Now, if you really hate your job and you can't find any good words for it, then you're in the wrong place. It's time for you to look for another job, another thing to do, something that captures your passion, because you're never going to have a happy spirit as long as you're in the have to, hate this frame pattern. Okay? So there's your first thing. If you're going to make your spirit happy and you're going to clear it out, the first thing you got to do is watch your language. Change your vocabulary as needed. The second thing is the pamper me stuff. All of us are motivated by the good times. We're all designed to run away from the things we don't like and run towards the things we do. We like rewards. So, all of us have quite a few things that we've got to accomplish in life, or we want to accomplish. And sometimes to get those things, in all honesty, you gotta really push to get them done. And you gotta test your boundaries, and you have to go past your limitations. So it's very important that you take times out to reward yourself. Now, it can be big rewards or small rewards. And I suggest both. I think after you've done a very big job or put in a whole lot of time into something, then a big reward is great. But don't forget those small rewards either. It can be just little things. Taking time to go out and observe something beautiful. To just sit down and be. Sometimes with a piece of food, they'll be careful with that, because if you're one of the persons that struggles with various food addictions, you don't want to always reward yourself with food, or else then you get something snapped in your mind that every time you do something good, you deserve some food, and if you go down that pattern, you can get mighty big, mighty quick. I know, I've been down that route. So, but these little things, give yourself just little rewards from here and there, and big rewards from time to time. That pampering yourself can make your spirit really happy, because what you're telling your spirit is you're worth it, and the things that you do are worth it. And if you want your spirit to work with you, to help you when your body starts to give in sometimes, that's the way to do it. That's partially the way you're going to win over your spirit. Pamper it. The other thing, if you're going to make your spirit really happy and prepare yourself to evolve, is you have to get rid of past garbage, past baggage. Whether those things are of self-hate or guilt, whether it's hate of somebody else, you've got to get rid of all that old baggage. Now, that's not always easy to do, but it's very important, because the longer you hold on to the baggage, the more miserable you are. And as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, you draw in other spirits that are more than willing to hang out with you in your misery. And in so doing, they'll make you more miserable. And really, you can go awfully far downhill. I mean, seriously, you could hit rock bottom or below by just allowing these things to be. So you need to learn to confront these things. Lots of ways to confront these things. Personally, if I practice both past life regression and age regression, and those are both very helpful to go back to the situations, to work with your higher self is very important. On all these things that can help you to move forward in confronting the various things that have become blockage to you. Now, my advice here, and the thing I want to make most clear in this video is, before you start trying to ally with very many spirits, make sure that you've got the allegiance of your spirit, at least to a degree. Because you see, when you start allying with others, every spirit has an effect upon the other. And so before you can positively influence another spirit and allow yourself to be positively influenced by that spirit, then you need to be kind of finding that balance within yourself. And there's lots of other ways that you can make yourself happy, but those are the 3 fundamental things that I want you to think about today. Okay? Let's go over those one more time. Watch your language, because words are power. Listen to how you talk. Don't just listen, but feel. And if you feel negatively toward any word you use, stop using it. Go to a thesaurus. Find another word for it that has or something similar that has a vibration, and use that word instead. Start using words that are uplifting to you. Don't even just use neutral words. Use words that when you talk, it makes you feel really good about what you're doing, what you're saying, what you're speaking about. I will reiterate too, as far as like work goes, find your passion, because that's so important to keeping your spirit raised. You can find good words to talk about a job you don't like, and it will help. But it will be far better if you get out of that job and get into one you do like, and then find words about the job you do like that make you feel absolutely sensational. So watch your words. The second thing is, make sure to reward yourself. Big rewards and small rewards. Little things for doing little things, big things for doing big things, but don't forget, we all like to be rewarded. Your spirit likes that, because every time you do that, you're saying you're worthwhile. And you are. Traveler, every one of you, every person on this earth, traveler, is worthwhile, is beautiful, and has that creative nature. And if you want to unlock that nature, you got to be able to reward yourself, to feel free a bit. Not to be in bondage, always having to move, always having to work, always feeling like you're enslaved. That's not good, traveler. And it'll kill you eventually. So you watch your language, you pamper yourself on a regular basis with big things and small things. And finally, the third and last thing again, confront those things that are holding you back. Because as you confront those things and find out the reasons why they're there, and that's the thing, see, it's communicating with those things. And that's what I do when I take people into hypnosis. I help them to communicate with their problem. I help them to communicate with their higher self. I help them to communicate with their subconscious mind and their conscious mind. And I work it all together in a holistic pattern so that they can see the things and come up with their own answers that are best for them, to put the stresses and the hurts and the guilt trips and the feelings of hate and all this baggage you can gather, to put it to rest. And once you put that to rest and your spirit begins to soar, then you're beginning to get that level to your creative self. So that's it. That's all I have for you today, traveler. I'll talk to you very soon. We'll continue looking at how we make alliances with spirits. But please, let it begin with yours. It's the only way that any of your alliances can be sealed and guaranteed as you cross paths with and work with the spirits all around us. From my heart to yours, traveler, I will talk to you soon.